Welcome, sweet friends. Tonight we bring you the Call of Penance RPG, a Call of Cthulhu adaptation written and GM'd by Belry. We remind you all at this time, there will be adult themes and cursing. So without any further ado, let us return to 1920s Virginia.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Call of Penance RPG. It occurs to me that up until this point we haven't been asking questions, so how about we'll start now? We will go with what is your favourite confection? It seems very apropos. So, Dr. Adrian Zilbert, who are you and what is your favourite confection?
My name is Dr. Adrian Zilbert. I am a doctor, and my favourite confection at the moment seems to be Dairy Milk Tiffin, which I can't fucking find anywhere.
Dairy Milk Tiffin?
Yeah, it's basically fruit and nut, but instead of the nut, there's biscuit. Quite nice. Do you remember when they did Dairy Milk Krispies years ago? Which was basically just dairy milk with a fuck ton of Krispies in it.
Are these the ones that looked like Pringles?
No, they were like proper bars of dairy milk. Like when I was at uni, they came out, and it was basically dairy milk with a fuck ton of Rice Krispies in it, and I lived on them for the first 2 years I was at uni, because they were basically like a chocolate cereal bar. And then they stopped doing them.
The Nestle's crunchy ones. Krispies.
Yeah, they were like Krispies, but they were dairy milk. They were really nice, but as I said, they discontinued.
It's dairy milk. Dairy milk's horrible.
It is not good chocolate.
Fair enough. Penelope Pendleton, who are you and your favourite confection?
Hello, I play Penelope Pendleton. She's a reporter for the Virginia Women's Digest, which is a magazine that does great topics on things like why alcohol is bad and what sort of cakes you should use. My favourite confectionery is Turkish Delight.
I'm tempted to agree.
Do you mean Turkish Delight as in the Fry's Turkish Delight, or as in the real Turkish Delight?
Real stuff. The Fry's stuff is the abomination of the devil.
Good.
I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Almost as bad as alcohol.
I like both. Both are good.
I tried the real stuff once and it was alright, but I'm not a fan.
We used to have a Turkish shop where I used to live a few years ago, and they sold real proper Turkish import stuff rather than the fake Turkish import stuff you get in the supermarket, and it's so much nicer.
Oh yeah, it is. It's less pink as well.
And you get so many different flavours rather than just the rose and the lemon. You can get all sorts.
Snide McBride.
Yes, I'm Snide McBride. I'm a thief. I'm a boy of the world, not that old yet. And yeah, I like to pilfer things. That's a great hobby of mine.
He's a bad boy who needs his knuckles wrapped.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Grown-ups. Who needs them? Yeah, my favorite confection, I don't know really. I never eat stuff like that, so I have to go with like dry roasted peanuts or something. Really enjoy those.
So more savoury than sweet then?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't eat sweets, so...
Not even salted licorice that you made for all the London children last week?
No. I used to eat stuff like that, and I really enjoy the salt licorice combination with the raspberry. They're really good. I don't know if you have them in where you guys are.
Having seen what Sweden's like with sweets, I don't blame you for not eating them.
Well, I just stopped eating a lot of sugar and stuff, you know, getting some alternative that there's not so much sugar in, and I just lost the taste for sugar, so I don't...
There was actually an interesting study I saw a while back where they got some of the Scandinavian people and some Japanese people and some English people and had them on the different sort of sweets you get in the areas, and each one liked their own ones because that's what they'd grown up with as a kid.
Yeah,
it probably is a lot like that. I enjoy stuff that it's salty and stuff like that, but sweet, it's not anymore. Sugar is bad for you, so...
it is.
I mean, as a diabetic, I fucking love sugar. So take that how we will. Next up on the list is Tilly White.
Hello there. I am a journalist for the Virginia Post. I unfortunately made some enemies among the local medical fraternity, and I'm trying to figure out what happened to my old friend. But things sound like they're getting very, very odd. But we'll get to that in a second. My favourite confection is probably anything that should contain dairy, but I can't eat it. So it's forbidden fruit. Won't. Cannot have.
And fruit as well.
Indeed. Fruit makes me sick. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I don't want to sound patronising, but that's really sad.
Yeah.
It's incredibly annoying.
Fucking love fruit.
Yeah, and it contains one of those, sort of sugars you should actually stay away from really the most. So
Fructose.
maybe it's good for you. Not sure
Well,
bad by fruit, but
fructose and sucrose, and
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
There's the number of people that are like, oh, but it's fine if you have fructose. No, because your body just converts it into glucose. It's
Yeah,
no difference.
Yeah,
exactly.
fructose is just made up of glucose. But I'm going to tell you what my favourite sugar. My favourite sugar is galactose, because it sounds like really futuristic and like like something they'd name in the 50s, like to be futury.
Yeah.
It reminds me of something like that.
So where do you find that?
I don't know. To be honest, off the top of my head, I don't know where it occurs naturally.
In small
I
meteorites.
think it's a polymer of like glucose and maltose, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But I don't remember.
Let's have a
off the
look
top of my-
on Wiki.
No, don't, because I'm probably wrong.
Galactose, it says it's 30% as sweet as sucrose, but it won't tell me what it's in. Sources: dairy products, avocados, sweet beefs. Sweet beets, sorry.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you-
really about it.
If you got a cute cow, you will get sweet beef.
Yep, rub it with sugar.
Can't be any worse than what the Japanese do to the cows.
Yeah, Kobe.
They massage them.
They do
Yes.
cocaine
With
a lot of other
baseball
places. They do it
bats.
in America and a couple other places as
Yeah.
well.
Well, it's a Japanese invention, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from sweet cows, we come to Victor.
Hello, I am Victor. I am a mechanic. I have a big wrench. I make flying moth suits. What else do you want from me? I don't know.
What's your favourite sweetie?
Favourite sweetie?
Oh, what about landing there?
I guess the only sweets I occasionally eat now are those Haribo sour things. But thinking about, like, when Nida was talking about sweets, I remember when I was in Sweden, I had an ice cream called a Piggeline, and I think it was the best thing I've ever had in my life. So,
Right.
also those kind of raspberry jelly sweets, I think they nicknamed them nipples or something. Do you know the ones I mean? I can't remember what they're called, but they're like raspberry flavour. They're like big jelly kind of raspberry.
Yeah, was
jelly
was it in Sweden
Yeah.
as well? Yeah, they're just called jelly raspberries, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Those are quite nice as well. But Piggelines are amazing.
Yeah, that's just a
So what are
pear-
piggelines?
It's like a pear flavoured ice lol kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just that, actually.
I don't get on with
Oh my
pears.
god, they were just amazing.
I liked
There
pears
you
for a
go.
brief window when, Copperberg didn't have the additive in it that makes me throw up blood.
Alright.
I
Now I
mean,
miss it.
Perry's okay, but I don't get on with pears in any other form.
Well, for me the problem is if I drink the one additive that's inside it that makes me throw up blood, I throw up blood. And
I mean,
it wasn't in a lot of Perry's for a long time because they didn't usually keep Perry's for that long.
Throwing up blood, yeah, is a reason to avoid a thing.
Yeah, it's I don't know what it is, it's something inside or I'm like catastrophically allergic to.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, but that went south quite quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we go to tabletop, I'll make sure you don't drink any cider.
So alright, when we go to tabletop I'll probably bring my bottle of raspberry mead.
Ooh.
It's very
I'll have to-
raspberry and very mead.
I'll have to bring. If you're bringing mead, I'll have to bring some Anna Air Lindisfarne mead.
We'll have to find a park and sit on benches with brown paper bags.
Get some duffel coats, yeah, it'll be fine.
Yep,
Yeah.
happy days. Anyway,
Yeah. So, on that note, we spiral down to Walter Gabe.
Spiral? Really? Okay. I'm Walter Gabe. I'm a detective. I am suffering some form of deep trauma that makes me do stupid things, like staring at the moon, trying to look at the sunset. My favourite confectionery? I'm gonna have to go Skittles. I don't know. Skittles.
do you have to say it so high pitched? Is that the only way you can say it?
Skittles.
Did you eat that packet of bourbon creams you took away?
I do like bourbon creams as well. I'm about just over halfway of the first packet.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so on the note of Skittles, does anybody recall what happened last week? Or have we thrust it from our minds like a bad memory?
I got some idea. Tilly, take some notes.
I did.
I remember there was a majestic Mothman moment.
There was.
I remember there was a bird person.
Well, we went out to the woods at dusk and took pictures of the Mothman. Picture looked absolutely amazing. But then this guy appears out of the woods and just kind of tries to run and try to feebly charge at Victor. So we managed to capture him, put a blanket over his head, and suddenly he went still and quiet. That should have been our first clue, really. So we go to develop the photos, and the others take this mystery man to the workshop who turns into a bird while there.
Well, he kind of broke out being a bird.
Yes, it's...
Yeah, he was wearing a man skin.
Yeah, he turned into a bird, then we savagely murdered him. Well, someone savagely murdered him.
Someone also didn't help.
Well, someone didn't want to get blood on his hands.
I will leave that to all of you to decide because we weren't there.
No, we weren't.
Mr. McBride and I managed to get the information on my fellow journalist. We had a list of 3 sweet shops to go and talk to, and we managed to get to 2 of them. Sugar and cane were just lovely. Snide did an excellent job as a demonstrator for making candy, but Johnny Somebody's legitimate sweet shop in ice creams, the name is definitely overcompensating for just how dodgy they are. But they had Miss Cressy's notes. And under the notes for the 3rd shop, everything was scored out, and all we could make out was Irish, sugarcane, and shouldn't grow. So it looks like something bad and really strange might be at the East River Confectioners.
Well, I don't know. It's certainly very judgmental of a place you've never been to.
Well, that's why we're going there to check it out.
Right. Is that the plan, to visit?
I imagine so.
I think that was going
Yeah.
to be the plan last week, yes.
Yeah.
Certainly. So yeah, you come up to East River Confections, and you're outside East River Confection. It's a normal looking confection shop. There's a display in the window of some chili babies and some large lollipops.
Nothing good ever comes out of the East River.
Yeah, I think that I will see if there's any, back alley here as well, to see if I can sneak around the back. Is there?
Yeah, there's a little alley. There's just some bins and a back door.
Does it
Yeah.
appear quaint?
It appears in almost every way to be totally average and unremarkable.
Well, there's obviously nothing going on here. Let's go back to the coroner.
No!
No, why don't you guys head into the store and I'll see if I can sneak in the back door while you do that.
So how exactly will you get in?
Well, I'll probably check if the door is locked to begin with.
That's a good idea. Alright, we will go and chap the door and see what you can do.
Yeah, is this the back door?
Yeah.
The back door is in fact locked and does have a sign saying employees only, no entry to the public.
Yep.
Please go through the front door.
If you guys could just, head into the shop and sort of distract them while I try to pick the locks on this door,
Okay.
that would be great.
So, walk in, and who greets us when we walk inside?
Well, as you open the door, a little bell rings. It goes ding-a-ling-a-ling. As bells.
How does it go? Sorry, I missed that.
It goes ding-a-ling-a-ling, as bells often do, and you hear the following voice. If you'll just give me one moment.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
If it tops a ding-a-ling-a-ling, I'll be happy, but go on.
You hear a gentleman go, "Top of the morning to you there. I am Bertrand. How can I help ya? Welcome to my
Where
sweet
are you
shop.
from?
I'm from Ireland. Nebulously from Ireland. I've travelled a lot of Ireland. So my accent, it may jump around a bit, as I did.
I was going to say it does sound kind of Donegal, yeah.
Go for Donegal. That's the closest.
I've been to Donegal, yes. I spent a few years there. How can I help you fine folk there?
What's your speciality then?
My specialty? I'd have to say I'm famous for my jelly babies. But also, I do some quite nice lollipops for the little kiddies. Apparently, I'm turning into Mrs. Doubtfire.
I was going to say, but I thought it was too easy. So, what makes these jelly babies special then?
Well, you'll just have to buy some and try some for yourself to find out.
I see. What flavour are they?
We do raspberry, we do lemon, we do a little bit of apple to commemorate the Americas, because you guys, what the fuck happened to the accent? You guys, you seem to like your apples and bacon and with your apples.
Bacon flavour.
Bacon?
No, baking.
Baking.
You know your apple pie.
Could you make bacon flavoured jelly babies?
I mean, I could certainly try, but who would eat such a thing?
Well, I would like to try some of these things. What would it require for us to purchase such things?
I mean, you'd have to give me some time to come up with a recipe for these bacon
You're
flavoured.
going a little
Jelly
bit
babies.
Scottish there, son.
I'm aware.
Even bee.
I travelled around a lot when I was a kid.
Aye, with them wife Morag under one arm and 2 bairns and 2 ears. So, what would we have to do to try to get this thing, apart from wait for you to get a recipe? I mean, could we discuss it now? I mean, how long would it take?
I mean, I suppose I've never tried. It's just gone full Scottish. He's Scottish now, sure.
Aye, that's fine. Alright, Ken.
I suppose I'd have to go with some sort of oil made from the fat. Can't do a Scottish accent either, apparently, when I try.
Fat? Do you not mean the grease rather than the fat?
I mean, if you rend it down and cook it, it'll be liquid, and then it's technically would work.
Right,
Excuse-
well, tell me more about this process.
I suppose you'd be more looking for a fudge.
Well, no, I'm looking for a jelly baby. You said you were famous for
I
the jelly
mean-
babies.
Yes, I am, but I suppose I could put some fudge in the jelly baby mold.
Why?
I don't trust your
Because then it would be a fudge baby. And it would also taste of bacon if I
Yes,
used the
as a
bacon.
doctor, you don't want fudge babies.
Tilly's going to interrupt at this point. Excuse me. I beg your pardon, Dr. Zilbert.
Yes?
Excuse me for interrupting like this, but I do need to ask about Miss Cresswell.
Oh, right, I thought we were just,
Thank you. I'm trying to look for one of my colleagues, I guess you would say. She is a journalist, and she was doing a piece on some of the different sweet shops in the area. Did Miss Cress come in here?
I do. What the fuck? Do you know what? He's just going to have a nebulous accent. Why I do believe that she.
Sorry, I wasn't ready for that, sorry.
This is why I don't DM much. I'm not good at accents.
You don't have to do accents.
Well, I kind of painted myself into a corner last week.
Yeah.
I don't remember
I'll be
you
honest
saying he
with
was
you,
Irish
you
last
pinned
week.
yourself into an even tighter corner now.
know. Well, she seemed to think I was Irish for some reason.
I see.
But we had a little chat. I pointed her over to a bit of history more than anything. There was an old plantation that used to supply, and I pointed her to there.
And how do you know about this?
Well, when I came over on the boat, I won't mention
Oh,
which boat.
The
'cause you
boat,
might-
oh
you
dear.
might-
Okay.
I took an interest in the local history.
How long ago did you come over on that boat?
Well, I would say the boat probably touched down about 15 years ago now.
I see. And how long did you take to open the shop?
I mean, I was working just whatever job I could for about 5 years.
You must have been
And then
very
I
good if
became-
you've earned the shop.
Well, I became an apprentice, you see. And when the guy who apprenticed me died, I took over.
Oh dear.
Apparently I'm from
what
this-
befell the
yeah.
poor man?
A bus.
What? A what?
A bus.
What's a bus?
They would know what a bus is.
They have like fucking horse-drawn buses.
Yes, but it's very rare it kills somebody.
He died under a bus. We're just gonna
Under a
go
bus. Oh dear.
He was murdered by
Murdered,
a
you
bus
say?
accident.
Oh, dear.
I suppose it's
They-
not technically a murder.
Did they catch the man that killed him?
Well, I suppose it's not technically a murder. It was an accident.
Oh dear. Did
Like,
they
I'm
shoot the
very
horse?
tired. Of course, I went straight to the glue factory.
Good, good.
I hear that some of it was actually used to attach letters on me sign. It's kind of poetic, really.
That has indeed, dear son.
So, which direction did you say this plantation was in?
I'll give you the same directions if you want. It's up in the foothills of Virginia.
I see.
When were you last at this plantation?
I ain't never been myself.
So you're just aware of it, but don't know anything about it.
Do you know its name?
No,
You said
I-
you've heard stories about it. Can you tell us any of them?
to be honest, when I was writing this, I hadn't even considered the plantations might have names.
They're generally named for the owner. That
Sure.
helps.
I will go back to my list of names. It was the Royston plantation.
I see. And what did they grow there?
They grew sugarcane and sugar beet. Christ knows how they did it, but they managed.
That's very interesting.
Cane and beach. That is unusual.
I mean, it's abandoned, of course.
How long's it been abandoned for?
Back when the... I don't know why I'm southern now, but you're southern now.
Oh, southern
back
now.
when
That's
the,
fine, but I can join you in being southern too.
Back when the emancipation happened, they had a few years after that, but they closed late 1800s. But I'm totally Irish, of course.
So what you're saying is they've been closed since you've been here.
Oh, of course, definitely. I've never known the place to be open.
Has the land come up for sale, Tom?
No, not really. The family just sort of moved away and never really did anything with it.
So they just up sticks and left with this prime land that was growing sugar beet and sugar cane.
That's as far as I'm aware. It's very odd, I
It's
admit.
very unusual. You are aware of that, right?
I am, but to be honest, I am a simple confectioner.
You don't say.
No, I do say. In fact, I
I'm
just
now
said it.
I'm now stuck in this accent. Thank you very much, Baron.
Welcome
End
to...
up talking
yeah.
like this, some sort of prospector for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yes, you're
strange.
not. Your character is meant to be Germanic.
I know that, but I'm kind of stuck in it now.
I'm not good enough at accents to do the southern accent that my character actually would have. So I didn't even try.
It's easy enough once you get used to it. It takes a bit of time, though.
Yeah, but that's the wrong voice for this game.
I know, but I can't really change back at the moment. Anyway, y'all better carry on with the story while I get back to myself.
Like I said, I can show you where it... I'll tell you where it is. I ain't gonna show you. I've got a busy shop to run.
Well, there's nobody else here, so you're not exactly busy right now.
How if
What are you trying to say there, young man?
I'm just trying to contradict your answer. Just trying to be a lovable scamp, that's all.
Doctor, I'm sure you're anything but lovable.
I'm sure they're actually fine.
You don't look the lovable type.
How did y'all know I'm a doctor? I've not told you that.
Tilly, over there, the journalist, referred to as doctor, I'm sure.
She could refer to anybody.
He just starts looking really swiftly.
She'd be back.
Dr. Zobert, are you feeling alright?
I'm feeling dandy, honey. How are you?
I think you've been taking too many of your own pills.
Well, I have been
think you
drinking
must
the
have
blue
been.
one quite a lot. It's
I'm
affecting my
not
voice a
your
little, if you know
honey.
what I mean.
Then I think you should probably put the blue one away.
We do have the blueberry jelly babies, if that's what you're referring to.
Ooh.
If I
Jelly
gave you a
babies.
bottle of this innocent blue liquid, could you put it in some jelly babies for me?
Probably.
That sounds fine.
Doctor,
Roll charm.
Stop inventing wine gums.
stop peddling alcohol everywhere.
That's
I'm
a
sure I
natural quit fail,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure I can do it, but it's definitely going to cost you. Ooh, I'm thinking I'm going to be honest, I don't really like your doctor. It's probably going to cost you about $100 a kilo.
Oh,
Now, son, I'm not here to buy drugs.
No, but you're here to have me put drugs in my jelly babies.
Dr. Zubair,
I
all
would
you
not
do
suggest-
is peddle drugs.
I did not suggest a single thing close to that.
You suggest I put that blue liquid, which is clearly a drug of some sort, into my jelly babies, and I have a reputation to upkeep.
Your voices begin to sound quite interesting.
It's probably all the drugs you take in there, Doctor.
Probably.
Excuse me. Don't worry, I'll get the doctor out of your way soon.
So you admit
If you
it,
could
yeah.
just note down the directions to the plantation for me, that would be incredibly helpful.
Of course, I'd be more than happy to help you get rid of this. You sure he's a doctor?
That's what he claims.
Well, I'll be happy to get this doctor out of me hair. Giving you the directions and help, by all means.
And also, you mentioned you sold lollipops for the children. Would I be able to buy a couple, please?
Of course, they're like a nickel a piece for like the big lollipops.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Sure. How many lollipops do you want to buy?
2, 1 for each of the kids. Make it 3. I'll give one to St. McBride.
Aww. He gives you 3 lollipops, each as big as a child's head.
And I want to buy some jelly babies. What are your best sellers?
What we usually do is we just sell like a mixed bag. I'm southern now again.
I shall buy a bag of your jelly babies then.
Slightly. We charge about 20 cents a bag.
Here you are.
There you go. He gives you a bag of jelly babies. It's like a little brown paper bag full of small baby flavored. Baby flavored?
Baby flavor, and you call
I'm
me
good.
the monster.
Baby sized
Sir,
baby shaped
Yes.
sweets.
you evil man.
I think so. These are baby flavored. I want to have a question about what goes into this material.
I agree.
I want to get out of here. I can't understand what anyone is saying.
It's fine as well as my accent. I'm not good with words or accents.
Thank you for the directions and for the sweets.
Not at all.
Have a
Please.
nice day now, and we'll get rid of the doctor for you.
Thank you. Yeah, make sure you drag him away with you.
That's fine.
Maybe
Goodbye.
throw him in a bush.
Goodbye, sir.
Did Snide get inside then?
Yeah.
Hello.
well,
Yeah, we're going to assume that you've been breaking in at the same time, so roll street smarts.
Yeah, I'm going to.
You managed to get in, but it does break the door, so it's very clear that someone's been there.
So what do I see when I get in there?
Just leads into the, I guess, kitchen, for want of a better term, of the shop. There's various ingredients. Like, yeah, there's vats and boxes of different things. There's some fruit. There's different oils and tinctures. There's like blue, green, yellow, red, purple crystalline stuff. You have no idea what it is, but it's all there. You know, just various sweet making ingredients.
All right. I'll just grab some of the crystalline stuff of all colors. And
Yeah, sure.
there's no office or anything there?
Not there. It just leads straight into the kitchen. In the
Okay.
kitchen, you can see everyone talking to the nebulously accented gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'll just grab some of the crystalline stuff then and head out.
Yeah. You head out. I assume you're just going to meet up with everyone out the front.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Everyone's
Oh.
together.
Outside the front window, just down the road a little bit.
Yeah, you just head down the road a bit, so it's maybe not quite as suspicious.
Yep.
What you do from there?
So
Here
how
you
do you
go,
fare,
yeah.
guys?
Here you are, Master McBride. Have a lollipop.
Oh, thanks a lot. I'll save it for later. You know, I found some crystalline stuff down inside while you were talking, and maybe we want to compare the crystalline stuff with the thing we found in the dead guy, you know, in the coroner's office, just to see if there's any similarities. I mean, we have a doctor of sorts.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Normal, really?
Oh,
Now I've
great.
remembered how to talk normally.
Perfect. Yeah, you've been talking strangely.
You like?
So,
Is it like when you talk to someone with a really strong accent, and you have to fight not to do their accent in case it looks like you're
Yeah.
mocking?
no, it's like when I talk to Amy and my accent changes back to my natural accent. And then I have to spend ages trying to remember how the fuck to talk normally.
Fair enough.
Because Amy
Did that.
shares the same accent my folks have.
Yeah.
It's because you're musical. If you have the air, it's easy to just do that.
It's also a self-defense thing. You make yourself sound like the
Yep.
people around you, so they don't mark you out as other.
So, guys, what did you find out inside? Anything interesting?
Well, I have to say that the sweet shop owner didn't seem that suspicious to me. But he did give us the directions to an abandoned sugar plantation.
Oh,
Sounds like
So-
it might fit some of the notes.
yeah.
His knowledge of it was quite suspicious, though.
In what way,
Yeah.
Doctor?
Well, how did he seem to know about it? It seemed very suspicious that he just happened to have this lying around.
Have you ever enjoyed ghost stories, Doctor?
Yes, but I always got confused at the methods behind them, running off to these abandoned things without due care and attention.
Well, I suspect you found out about it because some people like to tell ghost stories.
Do you mind taking a look at the samples I got in there, Adrian?
Yeah, sure.
And compare them
So,
to
medicine
sample?
check, or
Well, yeah, he pulls out a bunch of different, what look crystalline things of all the colours of the rainbow. Yeah, you can do a medicine check, I guess.
yep, pass.
Yeah, they look similar. You look at what Snyder's brought you. You crush it under your fingers. You give it a sniff. You give it a taste. It looks very similar. It's just candied red stuff, but it does seem very similar to the blood.
So, he said he was famous for his jelly babies, and people are becoming live jelly babies.
I mean,
Curious.
I have some jelly babies right here if you want to have a look.
Maybe
But-
we should compare the consistencies.
How does that fit in with the Mothman and the guy turning into a bird?
Well,
have
maybe
no
he
idea.
feeds birds jelly babies. I don't know.
maybe it's just not connected at all. You know, the guy just was sort of dead, and he didn't have anything with the Mothman to do at all. So,
yeah, I'm not sure where you're getting live jelly babies from. The man was very dead.
Because the man that was dead, his blood was becoming like that of these samples. He could easily
Yeah.
be converting people into live jelly babies. Well, dead jelly babies, but human-sized, made of flesh jelly babies.
yeah.
Suddenly I'm not hungry anymore.
You can't take any chances. This could be a huge breakthrough.
Oh,
I worry about the sort of books you guys must read.
I'm vaguely petrified of them at the moment.
Yeah.
So, shall we go and investigate this plantation?
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Before you go, just wanna, you are just in town. You just can go buy supplies. You all have money. You all have jobs. Snyder McBride maybe doesn't have something that's technically a job, but I'm sure he has an income of sorts.
Yes,
And you can
yeah.
certainly,
Very shifty.
you can certainly have a nice day out and have a nice shopping montage.
Have a
Yeah.
shopping montage.
Yeah, I guess we should probably bring some rope. I always need rope in these things.
Okay, so rope. Is there anything else you want in particular?
Yeah, it would be nice to have a rifle of some sort that's reaching a little further than just a pistol. So
How old is Snyder McBride again?
21.
Okay, because for some reason I thought he was a
Did you
child.
describe him as a child in your brief thing earlier, or as a kid?
I was sure he was a child,
Well,
an
Hence
adult.
why you got a lollipop.
A boy of the world, a young boy of the world. I mean,
I
21 is young. Yeah.
think there's an age limit on owning guns in the 20s.
Probably not, no. Especially
No,
after the
I
First World
suppose
War.
not.
I'm gonna have my full toolkit on. My tool belts with everything on.
I'm going to acquire some gloves, thick leather gloves, in case I have to move anything covered in blood or sharp.
Could I
Sure.
go to the library and see if there's any mention about the Raceland plantation?
Yeah, you can go to the library. Everyone can go shopping. Everyone who's buying something, roll me a charm.
What are you buying, Walter?
I am going to buy some fine cigars.
Sure. You go to the cigar shop. You talk with the guy. He seems to like you. Gives you a good deal on the cigars. After just a box of cigars.
And I've just had an additional thought. I'm going to buy a Zippo later as well.
I think Walter would have enough for that. He's a questionable, but he may.
I've got to maintain the mystique.
Sure.
One of you guys should actually bring a camera as well. I wouldn't use charm if I was going to my back dealers to just,
Steal
barter
it.
for a gun.
Yeah.
It would be street smarts or charm, but I mean, it lasts anyway, so.
Do you know what? Fair point, actually. Yeah, you're a dodgy man. You can get dodgy avenues to find them.
Yeah,
But I'll let you-
exactly.
But he knows you. He'll offer you a rifle, but it won't be cheap.
An arm and a leg.
He's gonna offer you a rifle for a favor somewhere down the line.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's the way I roll.
Okay. You can call it in at any time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay. He gives you a rifle. Let's call him Lewis the Kneecapper. He gives you your rifle, he gives you a box of ammo.
I don't like the sound of him.
Is it a single fire rifle or is it?
It's going to be like an old World War One bolt single fire rifle.
Nice.
You know, World
Like,
War
but-
One wasn't actually that old in the timescale we're talking about.
It wouldn't, but it's like old army surplus. It's an old single shot, almost like hunting rifle style thing.
Yeah, well, I was looking for a hunting rifle, actually. Just
That
something-
works out alright.
Yeah.
Zilbear was after gloves and
Yeah, but I could probably roll networking instead if that's what you're going with.
I don't know, he really doesn't like you. The shopkeeper.
Yeah, nobody likes me. That's all.
You can roll networking to see if you know a different shop that will sell you a rope and some gloves.
Probably not. No.
No, you don't. He will sell you either a rope or some gloves.
I'll take the gloves then.
You get gloves, okay.
I'm sure someone else will have thought ahead and brought rope.
I believe I have some in my inventory.
I thought you were going to say in like your
You
office,
didn't get it from my workshop.
which makes me really worry about your
I
office.
have
so
some
far.
on my belt.
I've never said that I've been a good PI.
Tilly wanted to go to the library, yeah?
Ready,
Yes,
eh?
please.
Cry was going as well.
Guten Abend, meinen Freunde. Hi. Oh, for fuck's sake. What are you guys doing back here? What do you want?
That's quite all right, sir. I'm not here to pester you, unlike the doctor last time. I was wondering if you had any materials on local history, say a plantation within a few miles of here by the name of Riceland.
I'm sure I do, meinen Freunden. This is the local history section just over there. If you want to have a look, just roll a perception.
That's great. Thank you. Nope.
Yes.
Do you know what? Tilly just stumbles straight into the Isle of Books, and they
What?
just go everywhere.
Try and see if your charm, of your
However,
clumsiness will.
Penelope happens to be right there and catches
I
a
catch
book.
it, don't I?
And it turns out to be exactly the book you're looking for. Yeah, it just says back during the sort of the slave trade, during this sort of time, there was an oddly successful plantation by the name of Roysland that somehow did produce sugar plants, sugar cane and sugar beet. No one was really quite sure how they did it. They were very successful at it, but all of a sudden it just stopped and the owners just left.
Yeah, this is why you really should have been planting cotton.
Well, Miss Pendleton, surely it was more a factor that they wouldn't have got as much profit from it, at least when it was set up. And it does sound like there's something very strange going on there now.
Are there any tracks of any information of old deeds or anything that might give us a map of the area?
Yeah, sure. You find a sort of picture, a couple of like old drawings, equally as old, like photograph, that show a rough idea of what's there. You've got the big sort of manor house surrounded by gardens, and then a short way away from that is the farm with a few sort of outbuildings attached.
So
But you don't find anything that's like a blueprint layout of the actual buildings.
we can copy out a rough layout
Yeah.
from the photographs.
You have an
and,
idea. Yeah, it'll give you an idea of the layout. Anything else you want to do while he's there?
I think I should probably leave before I destroy the building.
I think we probably found what we came for.
Yeah, the reception man, the librarian, takes this opportunity. Ah, mein friend, you are now banned from this establishment. I do not want you to break anything else. Do not come ever again. He's still trying to do his bad fake accent in hiding. So yeah, I guess you've all meet up. You've all got your equipment.
Was that directed just at Tilly or both of us?
Specifically at Tilly, but I mean,
It'll be me. You'll be fine.
That's alright, means I don't have to threaten him with cutting the funding for his new wing. She's one of those Pendletons.
I see.
So how did you get on at the library?
Well, Miss Pendleton did well.
Don't sell yourself short. You found the book.
You're very kind.
And how was the poser in charge?
Eager to help.
Good, good. I'll have to go and have a debate with him at some point.
We found a few old photographs of the plantation, so we've copied out a rough outline of where the buildings are.
So what was it? Was it paid workers or was it slave labor or?
It began as a slave-operated plantation.
Farm's this building here, the plantation owner's house is here. Fields are over that way.
So, what's the plan? He's heading out in the morning, he's going out at night, he's taking a picnic.
Well, if it's
I
abandoned,
would
we probably should
think
go out in the day.
daytime is probably the best.
I think we should set out in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds about right. So our dear PI can see the sun if he wants to.
Yeah, sure. You meet up at the morning and you just go on a hike. It's quite early and so you have to keep pointing Gabe in the right direction because he keeps looking up at the sun as it rises.
How are you not blind yet, Walter?
Probably at least wait for after breakfast.
I'm sturdy.
Yes, but you keep looking at the sun. You're just gonna blind yourself one of these days, boy.
As much as it pains me to say it, the doctor's right.
No!
Yeah, you bicker as you hike, and a little bit before noon, you start to come to big entrance gate of the plantation. It has the name Royston in big letters, and you can see the big man house in front of you. Again, off to the side, there's the farms, the sort of plantation area with a number of outbuildings, and there's the gardens that sort of surround the actual manor house itself.
Are we talking like a normal farm gate? Are we talking like a metal gate? Are we talking
It's
a
like a-
spiked gate?
It's a big metal gate. It's quite grand, but it's inviting. It's designed to keep people out, but it's also not imposing.
So are the walls around tall, short, spiked? What?
There are sort of short stone walls, but with not spiked, but more sort of metal grating around.
And the gate is locked up.
No,
What?
it's been abandoned. It's open.
What
Ah.
condition is the wall in?
The wall is like fairly sturdy. It was made well, and
Is the metal rusted? Is it?
no, it's got some sort of like blackened coating that seems to be keeping most of the rust away anyway.
Well, guys, I mean, the door is open. Let's go inside and take a look.
It's like hammerite or some
Can
shit.
we check see if they have any mail?
Any mail that was in the mailbox has long since rotted away or been taken away by animals.
The bear stole the letter. Oh no! The image of this bear running through the forest carrying a wad of letters. Okay, guess we go inside and have a look at what we can see
Yeah,
on the
you,
outside.
you follow this, I suppose, driveway, I guess you would call it, further in.
Yeah.
It's leading more and more towards the manor house rather than a sort of fields off to the side.
So what do the fields look like?
But very overgrown. There's the remains of what looks to be sugar canes, but it's all very overgrown. There's still some sugarcane growing, but it's not in a cultivated manner. There's a lot of weeds as well. Some like wild tomatoes, mint, some wild mint. There's a cabbage.
It's more like a kitchen garden there.
It's over the years, just whatever's sort of seeds or like plants have started to grow has just grown. You know, it looks like it was once plantation, but it's just all overgrown.
There's no sign of whatever was planted there.
No, there's still some sugarcane growing.
Alright, okay.
It's just overgrown, and there's a lot of other stuff there as well now.
Okay.
Can we see any signs that not has been here recently?
Not immediately. Roll a perception. Penelope at least notices it just looks like a sticky orange. Not really a puddle, it's not big enough to be a puddle. Like a sticky orange spot.
Are we
There's
talking
someone
like a footprint?
about chewing tobacco here or something.
No, it's not really the shape of the footprint. It's vaguely circular,
Oh.
maybe a bit oval.
Does it look like a drip from above?
No, it looks like someone's put something sticky and orange down, and it's come back up again.
Is it just a solitary one?
Like there's a few of them, but
Have they dropped their jelly babies?
it's too big to be a bag of jelly babies.
The Jello baby man is back again.
I'm just gonna go pick up that lone cabbage. We might want to analyze that later. You know, cabbage growing in this plantation just by itself.
Yes. I
Very
don't think it's time of
suspicious.
year for cabbages either. Like
No,
You just pick up the cabbage. It's cabbage. You have a cabbage.
great.
You've always wanted the cabbage.
What does the
Yeah.
front of the house look like? Is it normal? Is it been damaged in any way?
The front of the house looks about what you expect a sort of, I guess, by now about 60-year-old abandoned building to look like. It was obviously painted white and it was obviously fairly grand in its time, but like the windows are smashed. You can sort of see towards the back of the building where some of the walls have sort of come down.
Is the building made of wood? Is it made of brick?
Yeah,
Is
it's a wooden building as most of the time were.
Is the wood swollen at all from weather beaten?
It's weather beaten. I wouldn't necessarily say it's particularly swollen.
And what's the door look like?
Fallen over.
So the door is collapsed in.
Yeah.
Can I examine the door for like footprints or anything, see if it's been kicked in?
Yeah, do a perception. Doesn't look like it's been kicked in. It just looks like it's fallen down. The hinges have sort of rotted away from the wood.
Is there any strange smell when we enter the house?
The air smells quite sweet, but other than that, it smells of wood rot and various just wild plants.
Yeah, we should check if there's a basement inside, guys. If I wanted to do something dodgy, I would do it in the basement.
Well, let's
Comes
examine the
from-
whole house first before we look at the basement. Check sure there's no one else here.
Could
Last thing we
I-
want is to start looking and then we get attacked from midway.
Excuse me, wonderful voice in the sky.
Hello, Tilly. I am the Sky Voice.
I would like to roll a mythology check, please.
You can certainly try, Tilly White.
Yay!
Again, what you've heard about it, you're very much aware that this is the wrong climate for the sugar beets and sugar canes to grow. So you're very much aware that something might be up. Maybe not necessarily now, but definitely back in when it was operating, something was definitely not quite right.
Something wasn't natural.
It would be very unusual for them both to be growing together.
Yes.
They require very different climates.
So the knockdown door it leads into a porch, like a sort of grand porch. There's what look like the remains of shoe racks and some coat hooks lying on the floor. There's the remains of sort of big windows either sort of side of the porch.
Is there any sign of looting?
There's
Or
not-
like they've packed things up in a hurry?
Not in here. It doesn't look like, at least in this porch, there was much to loot. It was
Are
just
any-
weapon, coats and shoes.
Are there any footprints in the dust other than ours?
There's not really footprints. There's more sort of multicolored, sticky splotches of different colors, like orange ones. There's some red ones. There's some green ones. There's a yellow one.
The
Seems
jelly
like
baby man's
human-
been here again.
Yeah, the yellow baby mans are walking around. It's not good.
But does the house seem like they've packed up and left in a hurry, or does it seem like they never left kind of thing? Are there
Yeah.
still like portraits in the wall, stuff like that, things that you wouldn't leave?
It definitely looks like people just sort of left, up and left. Again, about maybe 60 years ago.
Okay. So they kind of left fairly rapidly.
Yeah.
Well, he says 60, but the man in the jelly baby store said 15 years ago, so...
Are you sure he didn't say 50?
He said he arrived on the boat 15 years ago.
Yeah, so then he wouldn't have a clue, would he?
It's in the late 1800s when they left. So that is about 60 years ago.
I'm surprised no one's trying to take the land since then. Prime land like this, especially one that can grow sugar, is ideal for a lot of people.
Everyone roll a perception.
It's very suspicious that nobody's managed to do anything with the land.
So Penelope and Walter at least hear a bit of a roar, and do you know what? There's a bear there, and it's got.
If this is a bumble bear,
No, it's just a bear. It's definitely outside of the grounds. It's outside of the fence, but it almost looks like it has a piece of paper in its paw. But it definitely seems like
the
there's,
post bear.
it definitely seems like there's bears around. This one,
Kill the post bear.
this one even has what looks to be a crudely fashioned tie made out of leaves.
This is fucking
Okay.
Yogi Bear. Right,
Just a
remember,
bear.
you need to kill Yogi Bear by shooting him in the neck.
Just a bear.
I'm going to approach the bear first.
It seems like maybe the bears are the reasons that people haven't been taking the land.
The bears don't usually climb across gates, though. They usually don't like the metal poles. They'd cut them. This is very strange. Why the hell are the bears getting in?
Well, he was
Oh.
outside, I think. And if you
Well, maybe he came in. He has been stealing the mail. You can see it's stuck to his paw, but let's see how
Yeah.
Walter gets on going up to the bear.
Yep.
I will try to follow him in a distance and readying the rifle. Just
I would suggest
Safety
just wait
measures,
here,
you
dear
know.
boy, and if Walter doesn't get on very well, you try and shoot the bear
Yeah.
before it kills him.
yeah.
As that is going on, I would quite like to just be really nosy about the surroundings and poking and prodding at everything. Investigative journalism.
Yes.
I will have a look around as well.
We'll deal with Walt.
Okay, I am approaching the bear.
What are you going to do when you approach the bear, Walter?
I'm going to see what the bear does when I get close first.
The bear looks at you and goes, "Rawr."
Okay, I'm going to say, hello.
Walter, I know you're a private eye, but bears don't tend to talk.
Roll charm. For fuck's sake. The bear sort of, it gives a friendly nod. It goes, "Rawr," and then just sort of walks off. It seems to accept that you're there and you seem friendly enough, but it's not interested.
If those bears don't tend to bother with Walter, then it wouldn't bother with other people. They can't be hungry.
Well, okay, this might be a very strange question, but have any of you ever heard of bears getting addicted to sugar?
Well, yes, it's more knowledge that bears love honey. They love the sugar, and they get drawn out. That's why they tell you not to have picnics in public parks.
So, have to assume logically that while this was a working sugar plantation up in the hills of Virginia, the bears weren't a problem, but they are now. This doesn't make any sense.
So what you're saying is this poor family were terrorized by bears?
Maybe?
Well, what chased them away? I mean, there must be more than one bear.
Bears
Bears seem very
come,
placid.
the bears may have come after the place was abandoned.
This is true. Honestly, I think we need to explore the plantation more.
I think so too.
Yes. Ways of exploring.
Is there a sort of garage or anything outside, you said?
There's a bunch of outbuildings towards the farm.
I guess while we're outside, I'll go and look at them.
Kind of sticky splodges.
I would like to look at one of the bedrooms.
Now I would like to go to the basement.
You'll have to find them first inside the...
Okay.
Are you looking for the workers' bedrooms or the...
Any bedrooms I can find. I'm
But
going to
the workers typically wouldn't be inside the manor house. The workers'
Yeah.
rooms, they'd probably be like mass rooms, several beds and not much
Yeah,
else.
I'd probably stick to the manor house.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd look for the bedroom in the manor house. Not
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll stick with Victor and just looking around in the manor house.
So...
I would like to have a look at the study or the office.
Okay, so I'll tell you, we'll go through with Aged first, having a look at these outbuildings. Just roll a sort of perception. You go to the first outbuilding, it has some really old, really rusty, really worn down farming implements. You decide, you know what, all these outbuildings are probably the same. I can't be bothered to look through them, I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well, was there anything I can find in the equipment? Like,
It's just old farming equipment. There's like old rusty sickles, hoes, buckets, an old rusty watering can. Is there anything else you want to look at?
no?
Okay. Going back to the manor house, I guess. Adrian will join up. Because he decided that none of the other outbuildings were important. And so we're back at the porch. There's a, cylindrical container with a couple of remains of old umbrellas. There's a door that leads into the rest of the manor house, as you would expect.
Okay, let's go in.
Yep.
So you go through the porch. What you have is there's a big open room. It has a big staircase that leads upstairs with a stair either side that sort of connects together. There's a hallway between them, and there's a door on either side of the room, along with some old vine-covered portraits.
What do you think, Victor? Should we go upstairs and check
I
the
want to go
bedroom?
upstairs, yes.
Yeah. If you take the left side, I'll take the right side, and we'll meet up in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, which one is going which way?
I'm taking the right side.
And I'm going left.
Okay, roll athletics, Victor.
I'm very athletic.
Not athletic enough.
I beg to differ.
Victor cannot avoid the rotten stair that is on his side of the stairs, and he falls through just onto the ground, back in the middle of the floor, in the middle of the foyer room.
I have fallen.
You have fallen. Slide's fine.
And you cannot get up.
Sure
Are
can
you
get up.
okay, Victor? Down there?
I am fine.
I am going down to assist Victor.
I am fine.
He's fine. He's only fallen a few feet.
I know, but I worry about him.
Okay. I guess roll medicine.
I do not need medicine. I am fine.
Do you know what?
You were fine.
Get off me,
You were fine.
competent fool.
Walter assumes you've broken your arm and tries to
Yeah.
reset it into place.
Yes, that's pretty much where I was going. Roll, Victor. Just roll a d20.
Sutalo.
Ooh, how loud is the snap? He's broke your left arm
Are we talking forearm or upper arm?
at the shoulder.
Oh,
Oh, come on, man!
What's that?
It's
That's
lucky.
evil.
It's lucky
He
for us that
did
we have a
roll.
doctor.
I'm
Yeah.
going to be in traction for months.
you did
He
roll
did
a
roll
critical
a
fail
nat- Yeah.
on an unnecessary medicine check.
I was trying to help him.
Unnecessarily.
So yeah, you've got a broken left arm.
I am good for nothing now.
You were good for
Walter,
nothing.
you
to start
fool.
with.
Well, yeah, if you just talk to Adrian, he probably have something you can then take to leave off the pain at least.
I'm sure we can at least have it.
Yeah. Unless Adrian is going to speak up against it because he doesn't like Walter or whatever. The Adrian comes to, he bandages up the arm and gives him some painkillers. The arm is useless.
Painkillers and some antiemetics.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Read
arm.
blue.
New liquid. Lots of food.
No, it's the green liquid. The green liquid's the antiemetic.
Victor's left arm
both.
is useless, but at least it's not flopping at his side, and at least he's not in pain.
Why did you let the
Yay.
incompetent near you?
I had no choice.
To be fair,
Pounced on me.
Man, he broke your arm. You had much choice. You could have kicked him in the
Pounced on me.
face.
To be fair,
Got me
I
while
do
I was
re-
down.
I do recall Victor saying, "Get away from me."
Hey guys, just for don't use the left stair. Use the right one.
Thank you.
So yeah, there's the broken stairs that Victor went up. There's the intact stairs that Snide went up. There's a door the side of the room at the base of each stair, and there's the corridor going down the middle.
I'm not happy.
I don't blame you, man.
Could I try the right-hand door at the right-hand stairs?
Yeah, the door at the right-hand stairs, it leads to a conservatory.
Ooh. What can I find in the conservatory?
There's a big bowl. It's full of petrified fruit.
Ugh.
There's a lot of broken glass. There's what were probably really nice couches, sort of on each side.
So does it all have a feel of they left in a hurry?
Definitely, yeah. Like,
What happened to drive them out from their home?
Bears.
Something scary probably, since the fruit is petrified.
oh, do you know what?
Sorry, I couldn't help myself there.
Okay. Is anyone looking anywhere else at the same time?
If I'm still able, I'd like to look around the floor.
What, crawling on the floor?
Yeah, roll a perception, sure. Yeah, it's dusty. There's a couple more sticky splotches. Luckily, you've managed to avoid most of the sticky splotches. You also find what remains of your dignity down there on the floor.
Dare you? Wolfie, don't you
Definitely
talk to
not,
me.
sir.
Henry.
Do the sticky splotches seem to lead anywhere, or are they just scattered about randomly?
They just seem scattered about. They go in all directions. So, what's left is we have the room on the other stair that Snide went up. Downstairs, there's a corridor that leads to the rest of the
Do you mean
downstairs.
going downstairs or downstairs from where they are? Or
Just on the ground.
On the ground floor.
Ground
Right.
floor.
Where I'm from, we refer to it as the downstairs.
well, if they have a basement, where's that then?
It's
Not-
the downstairs.
Yeah,
We
that's-
Downstairs, right? Okay.
We haven't
That's
found
very
the basement
downstairs.
yet. Nope.
Oh,
and there's another room.
is there a cupboard under the stairs?
No, the stairs are just sort of... They're not like free floating, but they just sort of go up. There's a few beams to support them, but that's about it.
Right. Is there any
Oh,
rugs on the floor or anything like that?
Yeah, they're covered in sticky stuff.
Can I
Sticky
lift
cube
the rugs
dust.
to see if there's any trapdoors or anything underneath?
You can try, just roll a non-specific d20.
But there's also a Frenchman on those stairs.
I'm there as well.
Yes, you can keep away from us, Walter. I saw what you did to Victor's arm. I'll tell you what, Walter. You go outside and bottle some sun into a glass, and then we'll take it down with us.
No, I've got a better idea. I'm going to light one of my cigars.
You light a cigar.
You're gonna
As
fill
you're
the
doing-
place with smoke.
As you light your cigar and everyone admonishes you, Dr. Adrian Zilbert manages to lift up some of the carpet up till about where Victor is scrambling around on the floor, looking for what remains of his dignity. It's just
I am not on
floorboards.
the floor.
It's just floorboards.
So there's no trapdoors or anything under any of these?
No, just floorboards.
Has the good doctor not actually seen to our injured companion?
He did. He bandaged up his arm and gave him some medicine.
I saw the horrendous job Walter made of his arm.
Then surely Victor should actually be up and about rather than still rolling around on the floor.
He was, but then
Well, he's on the
Oh,
green
close
liquid, you see.
then.
It'll kind of give him a bit more oomph.
I am not rolling around on the floor. I am up. I'm here.
You were looking at the floor.
I was, yes, but now I am not.
Okay.
You're standing up.
He has feet.
So I re-enter the house from the conservatory and go to look at the corridor on the ground floor.
Yeah, there are 4 doors.
Oh,
2 doors to each side for 4 doors, and 1 more door that is currently impassable as the walls have sort of caved in around there.
Is there not a store cupboard or anything like that?
well, let's have a look in here. So start opening some of the doors. And what can we see?
So you have 2 doors on the left, 2 doors on the right that you can get into in this corridor. Pick a door. We'll number the doors 1 through 4.
Guys, just shout if you need any help downstairs.
So we're going to go with 1 and 2 is the first and second door on the left. 3 and 4, first and second door on the right.
Try door 3.
Door 3, open it up, roll a d20. Dr. Adrian Zilbar has no heart and isn't disturbed at all by the room lined with heads of animals, with a big fireplace.
What kind of animals?
All sorts of animals. There's a bear with a piece of paper in its mouth.
Can I take a piece of paper from the bear and see what it says?
Yeah.
Is it a man bear or a woman bear?
Well, that's just the head, I imagine. It's
It's a
not the
bear.
genitals. I mean,
Yeah, you don't.
that's
yeah.
a different room.
One of you can try and roll nature to see how well you can identify the sex of a bear.
I don't really care, if I'm honest.
No, it's a
Victor
bear.
does, but I don't
The-
really care.
It's a bear, Victor, with a piece of paper in its mouth.
And this is not a bedroom.
No, it's a trophy.
No,
room.
the rest of the bear might be in the bedroom. You never know these people. It was a darker time.
The piece of paper, it's just addressed to the Royston estate, and it just looks like an invoice for some beef and pork that they obviously
Beef
had
and
delivered back
pork,
in the
you
day.
say? How much were they ordering?
A bunch.
How
I
much
don't
is a
know.
bunch? You should tell me exactly so I know if they're feeding workers or not.
20 pounds of beef, 20 pounds of pork.
Right, so they must have a storeroom or a salt chamber. This is too warm here for storing normal meat. It would be definitely kept in a darkened cupboard or downstairs.
It might be. We'll have to find out.
Okay, I'm going to try and open one of the other doors.
There's the two doors to the right, and there's one more door left. The further door down. For the
I will take the second on the right.
Second on the right, you open it up. It's a kitchen.
Ooh,
Look at that.
How many of these doors have we opened?
Two Walters in the kitchen. Look at that. There's this pantry that has a hanging hooks with what would have had salted meat. There's a
Ooh.
range, and there's another door in the kitchen that leads back into the other door on the right.
Okay. I wonder what this door at the end led to.
Well, we could start clearing, I suppose.
There's also a door in the kitchen that is impassable that would lead to the impassable room.
Maybe we
I
should
wonder
start
if
clearing it.
If it was some room for eating or entertaining.
Well, we're not going anywhere. We've time to clear it.
It's in a pretty dire state. Did you bring tools to clear it?
I've got tools, but I've only got one arm.
I mean, what tools do you have in your
All
tool
of
belt?
them.
Do you have a pickaxe in your tool belt? Do you have like a big axe in your tool belt? Because that's what you would need to clear.
Sure, of course I do.
He is a very well prepared man.
A big sort of fireman style axe
Of
to
course.
clear a blocked door.
Yes, I have one of them.
Do you know
He
what?
was
Sure.
he was brought up in Switzerland, you know.
Let's go with it. If you say so, who are you going to give the axe to try and clear this door?
I've still got one arm. I should do it myself. I do not trust these incompetent fools.
Victor, be careful with yourself.
Get away from me, Walter.
I was trying to help as I slowly take a deep drag of my cigar.
I can imagine Walter's the kind of person that tries to smoke a cigar like a cigarette.
Even with two arms, you would have failed it, but you have one arm. Your axe is uselessly buried in the debris.
No! Ah,
You fool.
Don't you talk to me, Walter.
Be careful. I'm crazy.
So, I've lost my axe. Someone want to pick it up for me?
At this
Yes,
point,
fine. I'll take the axe and start.
at
trying
this
to break
point,
through.
I take my lit cigar and
Not you.
put it out on the back of my hand.
Jesus
Roll,
Christ.
we roll for infection on Walter. Walter,
Yeah,
please.
fucking hell, yeah, that's fucking crazy. Roll a d20. We're gonna call that a medicine for fucking Graham, who has 6 medicine. Yeah, he's not good. But fucking smarts. And it's probably gonna get infected.
Yeah, we obviously don't need any bad guys taking care of us. We can do that ourselves.
Yep.
apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to go and find an office.
I was
Walking
gonna
away quickly before I start
Well,
losing
So,
my poise and
I think you guys have
swear.
2 doors left downstairs you can check out if you want to. 3 doors,
Can I
actually.
take Victor's axe and start clearing the rubble away?
no, he's buried it
Oh,
well and
what's
good. It's done. It's done with. He's not got an axe anymore. There's no axe. Or rather, there is an axe, but it's stuck in there too good. No one's getting that out. To be fair, considering it was a one-arm swing, it's quite impressive. Just the sheer scale.
Do not try to flatter me.
No, let's finish. The sheer scale of Victor's failure is impressive. There's the other room on the right side of the corridor, and one more room on the left side of the
Right.
corridor.
Let's have a
Yeah.
look at the doors we can get to. Let's open one of them.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just go down and take the other one on the right side since you guys are never coming upstairs. So,
The other door on the right leads to what can best be described as a servant's quarters. The house servants would stay when they weren't busy.
That's very
Yeah.
rare for a manor
Or
house,
sleeping.
but Okay.
can we
They
see
need-
something
they need
interesting?
to make sure they're on call 24/7.
Yeah, it's the one that would have led directly into the kitchen as well. I'll point that out. It's just got a table. There's a not as nice looking sofa. And
Sofa.
well, somewhere for them to sit, just some seat. It's not very comfortable. It's more of a bench, really. There's a sort of small dining table, and what looks like the remains of some really fucking old cards.
Oh, dear me.
What kind of cards?
Just like playing cards.
All right.
Who was winning?
Skeleton A on the left side was winning.
What did they have?
2 6s. It wasn't a good hand for either of them.
Right.
Pair of 6s.
Well, it's better
Pair of
than
sixes
Victor.
isn't too bad.
Better than Victor's hand.
So are there actually skeletons there then?
There are now because Dr. Adrian Zilbert willed them into existence to have a conclusion to this game of cards.
And the fourth door in that corridor?
That leads to a parlour.
Okay. What is in the parlour?
Another much more extravagant table. It looks like it was probably quite plush. Lots of nice sofas and a small drinks cabinet. You know, one of those ones that's shaped like a globe.
Yes.
Ah, very nice.
Anything inside it?
Roll me just D20. It's a shame we're playing Call of Cthulhu rules, quite frankly.
Oh yeah, because I've
Yeah.
rolled like 4 natural 20s so far tonight.
There was. Do you know what? There was a really nice bottle of whiskey in there. Really nice bottle of rum. Really, really, really good bottle of brandy. But Dr. Adrian Zilbert just opened the cabinet too quickly and smashed them all.
Oh well.
Good.
Damn you,
It's
doctor.
prohibition, you're not allowed it.
Well,
Especially you, Walter, you're definitely not allowed it.
It's definitely not a word. I mean, we have your blue liquid, doctor. So. I
Well,
mean,
yes,
we're
but that's
fine.
not technically alcohol.
No.
But it helps
works.
calm the voices in my head.
You're not getting any more of that. I've seen what you can do.
I'm thinking that we still got a door downstairs left to check out on the left side of the stairs. I'd like to go there and see what's in there.
Okay.
I quite agree with Mr. McBride, and indeed Victor. Let's go up the stairs.
Well, we're having one last room downstairs first,
Yeah.
since we're there.
Slide
Yeah.
actually remembered. The drawing room.
Yeah. So what do
Um,
we find in the drawing room?
There's a great big sort of table with drawers and papers on top. Most of them are faded with age and yellow. And there's a large book. Well, there's a few large books. Again, there's a safe on one side, which is fairly rusted on the hinges. And there is another, what can only be described as a drinks cabinet.
Oh yeah. Is the safe open or is it locked?
It doesn't seem locked, but it's definitely rusted shut.
Oh, Victor, do you have anything you can help us get this safe open with, do you think?
I don't want to touch anything else.
Well, I mean, you don't have to use brute force now. You're just gonna use
Yeah, I have a
mechanic
hammer.
skill.
Have a hammer.
Mr. McBride, I may be able to help.
Oh, are you going to lie about your heritage and then you'll get it to shame itself open, or do you have a better suggestion?
I was going to try and break the lock.
Jesus Christ!
What?
That was really fucking pointed. Jesus Christ, when did Snide become such a dick?
What do you mean become? That's the
On the
character.
name!
Well, if you know you can break it open, go ahead. Any way you can do this. I mean, I can't pick a safe. It's like hopeless for me. So do your best.
I'm not promising anything. I'm going to roll street smarts to try and listen in to the tumblers moving when I try the safe lock.
Well, I'll go ahead and do that as well then.
Oh, in fairness, we could probably just knock the lock off then.
Yeah, that's why you need a mechanic.
Yeah, the lock was open anyway. Like I said, it was
Yeah.
open anyway. It was the hinges that were rusted shut.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do we find inside the safe?
Nothing, because the hinges are rusted shut so still.
Yeah. Victor, get over here and use your hammer.
I give you my hammer. I am not doing it.
Do we have anyone else that's good with mechanical stuff? Then
Because you've got a hammer.
Well, John got it.
Ooh,
He manages to knock all of the rust off it and the door swings open.
That is how we do it.
That is how we do it in Kingsport.
Inside is a large, quite ornate book. Some money. I forgot the word money. Well done, me.
yeah, I mean it's the 1920s. You know they didn't have money then.
It was
Not
only
penny.
just invented.
Oh, Jesus.
Speak for yourself, Mr. McBride. I've got plenty.
And a very old, like, handgun. like a really old-fashioned one.
The one
like
you have
single.
to load.
You mean a flintlock?
Yeah, flintlock.
Not quite. Yeah, is it quite a flintlock back in the 1800s?
Yeah.
They were more 1700s. You'd still 1800. You'd probably have very early automated, but they'd be like powder and fire.
The revolver had to be first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's call it a compromise and say it's a revolver, but it would have to be like powder loaded each chamber.
So what's the old Ornette book? And we'll look at that and see if it tells us anything interesting.
You read the book. From what you can make out, because it's an old book, it's quite worn, it's quite faded, it's got some quite unpleasant stains, quite frankly. But some of it refers to a voodoo lady.
Oh.
She managed to keep the bears out while she was there.
Well, I'm just thinking more that there are bear trophies next door, so there's got to be bear traps around.
Yes, and the voodoo lady was very good at keeping them at bay. It also mentions voodoo magic.
What name has she gone by?
Voodoo lady is all she's referred to as in the book.
She must have had some kind of name, no?
She probably did, but the guy who was writing this apparently didn't care. It was just voodoo lady.
So what else does it say about the lady?
It mentions that she was a boon to the plantation, that it would not have been able to obviously make the money it did without her weird voodoo magic. Yeah, without her magics sort of allowing the plants, the crops that they could grow to grow, and it meant that they had something of a captive market. It also mentions he regrets the means at which it was grown.
Okay.
What
And
did
it
it
does
say?
refer-
It doesn't say anything of how it was grown then?
It does refer to human sacrifices
Yeah.
that had to be enacted on the plantation.
By which method of sacrifice are we discussing?
Again, he left it all to the voodoo lady. He didn't really want to have much to do with it.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking like, jelly sacrifice.
Jellification, yes.
Jellification, yeah.
This sounds potential, yes.
Yeah. Should we maybe head upstairs, or do anyone of you need to take the money or the gun? I mean, it was probably useless.
Is
Or
the gun
can we
loaded?
Roll me a shooting.
I don't have shooting, that's why I'm asking is the gun loaded, but okay.
Well, I can roll a shooting, and I fail.
It is loaded, but it's also because the cartridges are like powder based, and it's been a while. You don't know if you can rely on each shot, so you would have to roll a shooting for each of the 6 shots.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole, so no.
Maybe Victor should take it in case Walter comes back to him.
I'm not touching.
Hello.
Well, then he probably would lose his other arm as well, shooting that gun, so not a good idea.
I'll take it.
No, I don't trust you with a
No.
gun.
What's the last
I don't
entry in the
either.
book?
The last entry refers to when the slaves, tired of being used in the sacrifices, sort of revolted and actually killed the voodoo lady.
So the voodoo lady was the governess.
No, she was. Well, it just says she killed the voodoo lady. She wasn't a governess.
No, she was using the slaves as materials for her human sacrifice, and they turned on her.
Somebody
Yes.
It
wanted
says the
to say
slaves were tired of
Good
it.
for
That
them.
means they were aware.
They probably got fed up of being used as sacrifices by her, and because she was really a slave herself, she'd have been less well guarded than the plantation owners, so they could kill her easily.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, that.
that makes perfect sense.
So she
Yeah,
was the
it
voodoo
does.
lady was part of the slaves.
Well, of course she would have been.
Then why would she help the slaves?
She must have got some special status or some special.
But she was the one that encouraged the land to grow. This is
Yeah.
strange.
Pork on Fridays, probably.
I think
Yes,
it's
I don't
very...
think we should discuss if a lady got porked on Fridays. That's a bit mean.
Doctor, that's quite enough.
There are ladies present.
Well,
Yeah, there's at
I
least
did say
one-
it was quite mean to discuss it. I did not say I was approving of it. But
There's at
no,
least-
you have to
there's
jump
at least-
down on me.
There's at least one lady present. Let's go upstairs and see if we can find a bedroom, guys.
Right, let's go up.
I don't
these
know
stairs.
why we're looking for a bedroom though, but I mean, I'm just I
You've been
like
wanting to
I,
go to bed for
I-
the last hour.
I like Victor, and he wants to find a bedroom. So I mean,
You like
and the
Victor
poor,
and you
the
want to
poor,
take him to bed. Yes, that's fair
yeah,
enough.
the poor sod, as you know, his arm is lost. So let's just head upstairs.
We
and
are
see if
living
we
in
can
modern
find-
times.
It's not lost. It's still like on. He still knows where it is.
Yeah, well, he can't use it, and I mean, he's
Yeah.
got his whole arm broken. So let's go upstairs and see if we can find anything interesting there. But I'm very curious of the rest of the buildings outside. Seeming the voodoo lady probably didn't live inside the house, and
Well, I
the
doubt
good-
she'd
the-
lived with the slaves if she was worth anything to the plantation.
yeah, well, I mean, didn't seem to be interested in many of the buildings outside, so
there's nothing interesting out there, but I genuinely think if she was worth enough to the plantation that she was seen as a boon, she wouldn't have been kept with the slaves.
No, but I mean, there's more buildings outside than just the shed.
Well, there's
So,
bears. Or maybe the
let's-
slaves were getting eaten by bears and she wasn't kept outside because of it.
Well, she kept the bears off, apparently, so... Even those with the leaf ties.
Maybe she converted the slaves into bears.
Yeah, gummy bears.
Oh, there's me.
Oh, Doctor, really think you need to go to one of your own asylums?
No, I'm completely sane.
No, you apparently are not following the conversations.
Or
Why,
leaping to some really strange conclusions based on pure superstition.
I am a doctor. I'm only going by what I see. You know, there's very advances in medical science. We don't just, claim blindness is caused by snow anymore.
Before we actually go upstairs, is there anything other of interest that we would want to check in this drawing room that we're in?
I would say, unless you want to read some really old ledgers, no.
Let's head
No.
upstairs then.
So, the stairs on the ground floor, the two sets of stairs meet up before getting to a corridor. On the left side, there's just a series of doors. Lots of doors.
Yep.
On the right side, there's two doors. And the fact there's only two makes it look like there's two bigger rooms, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let's go to the left side and start going door by door.
It's a bedroom. It just looks like a guest bedroom. It's fairly simple. Bed to one side. There is a little dresser, a small wardrobe, and a little pedestal with like a little basin that was probably used to wash.
Yep.
Can
Anything
you tell
interesting
if
in the
this is,
dresser?
can you tell if it's a man's room or a woman's room?
It was a non-specific guest bedroom.
Can we find anything interesting in the room if we look?
Yeah, you can try.
Yeah, I'll just check the room. Is it perception?
Perception.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do the old trick of looking under the bed.
Of course I do.
Someone, whoever was in this room last, left a little box under it.
And what's in the little box?
A little box is full of jewelry.
Nice.
A lady's jewelry, like a pair of pearl earrings and a pearl necklace.
Sweet. I'll take it, of course.
I'm sure Snide would.
Of course I would.
Other than that, though, it looks like everything's just sort of run down, a bit ruined.
Yeah. Walter, I think your perception is kind of high though, so I think you might want to, help us search the other rooms.
Fine, let's do some searching.
Right, should we just rattle through the next sort of three rooms down the side?
Yeah.
Because they're all just guest bedrooms. All sort of same. There's not really much in them.
Let's go to the other side, guys. Those might be funnier.
Okay.
So yeah, there's two more rooms on the other side. Do you want to go down the first one or the second one?
Let's start with the second one. Just
Ooh.
kicks.
Controversial.
Yeah.
You open the second door. It leads to the master bedroom.
I see.
There's a large double bed with like the posters and the canopy. There's another sort of more intricate basin, again for washing, a large sort of standing mirror, and an even larger wardrobe.
Okay.
Tilly, why don't you look under the bed?
I Snide warily, and keeping my eyes on the others in the room initially, look under the bed.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you were meant to take that either.
Yeah. So do I roll perception?
Yeah,
or-
just a perception.
Oh dear. Nope, I'm just too suspicious of you all.
You're too busy paying attention to whatever the hell Snide is probably planning.
We shall see.
So, you didn't find anything interesting under the bed, Tilly?
No.
Oh my god. Well, Walter, do you feel like checking under the bed perhaps?
If you're so convinced there's something under there, Mr. McBride, why don't you look?
Well,
There you go,
I'm-
I've just checked under the bed.
Critical pass.
Jesus.
to be fair, Penelope, it's a big bed and it's kind of dark under there, so I'm not really...
Got a fear of spiders.
Oh god, jeez.
sort of scared of dark places, so that's why I don't want to check it,
That's a really acute fear of the dark. Walter finds a note that says, "Look in the wardrobe."
Let's look in the wardrobe!
You open the wardrobe. Walter, roll in athletics. Okay, Walter flings open the doors and does not fall down because it's not a wardrobe, but rather there is a ladder that just
Oh.
leads down.
Finally, the basement. Sort of.
What will be there?
I'm thinking that maybe we should check it out.
And on that note, we draw this episode to a close. Thank you for listening. The podcast featured Ben, Nikolai, Dragon, Daniel, Graham, Ash, and John. The Call of Penance RPG was written by Ben Simpson. Artwork created by John Moore. All music was written and performed by Daniel Bostrom. If you would like to support Penance RPG, we have a Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/penancerpg. If you'd like to support all our future projects, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/penancerpg. All support is appreciated and gratefully received. Thank you, and good night.